And besides Toyota and Honda and Yamaha and all these other cars, motorcycles, trucks that they make, they have been making so much for so many around the world. And I guess my point is that I want again to say that for a nation like Japan, who has done so much in a technical, logical way, in innovative skills, innovation of science, working so hard beyond their capability because they're plagued with all these natural disasters, yet they still determined to build. They still determined to move forwards with matters. They still determined to not only build from themselves and say that well, it's fine, we'll build a little hut. No, they push themselves to limits. They push themselves to build, and not only build, but to come up to a situation where you would have the world envy Japan in so many ways. Okay, because they lack so many resources, unlike other nations who are abundant of resources. Japan lacks a lot of resources that some nations have, and they would have to go overseas with companies and buying these resources. But yet they go on, yet they continue, and they try not only to make it and better themselves, but they try to go and beyond what they do for themselves and for the world, for that matter. And you may not say, you may say that well, Japan is we have what from Japan? Toyota. Well, some nations who have abundant of wealth of resources, coal and timber, oil and so forth, doesn't produce anything, if anything. Yet Japan, who are limited in a lot of these resources, where I just said, or none at all, are always determined, always pushing forwards to making our lives a little better, to helping the world with tech, innovation, science, and so forth. And this is a very important part of Japan. This is a very important part for the world, because we have contributed so much from Japan. And like I said before, some nations who have a problem even before any disasters just would stay stagnant for decades. And if a natural disaster does happen, well, they're like back in the Stone Age, or just have an excuse that, well, we had an earthquake or a natural disaster, that they can't do nothing, and yet they don't even produce anything, even a quarter of what Japan does. And Japan is very limited in size, resources, but they have their brain power, and they have their determination, and they have their pride. And this is what drives a people. This is what drives a nation. This is what drives the soul. And this is very important. Now, as bad as things are in Japan right now, I believe Japan will recover from all this. There is suffering, and there's going to be a lot more coming, but in the end, you'll have right now you're going to have for quite a long time. As months go by, Japan will suffer here and there, but the months after that, I'd say by later on this year, after the summertime, you'll see that things start to pick up again. This is what I've been telling you before, that how a determined and motivated people make it through a disaster. They come together because they are one. They are proud and they are determined and they care about their nation. They care about themselves. They care for one another. And they care of what their status is around the world. They're not a third world nation, or even not even to say a third world nation, but any nation for that matter, who would just have any excuses for whatever reason and stay stagnant for decades to come. Yes, they had a recession that lagged behind, but nevertheless, Japan did have a recession for many years, but nevertheless they always have pushed forwards with their technology, pushed forwards with their innovation, pushed forwards with their education. Their students is among the most brightest in the world, working 8, 9, 10, 12 hours studying. And they're businessmen who take very highly of their work, stay on average of 12 hours or more a day on a regular basis, coming home for a few hours more and then get back up and go back to work. They take their pride in their work. They take their determination very seriously. The students in Japan work very hard, and again, like I said earlier, they are among one of the hardest working people. They are among one of the most educated people, and among some of the most determined people to do what they have been doing for so many years. And I have a great admiration for Japan for doing this. As a child, I've been watching Japanese movies, and now today I see Japan not only in movies but always admire them in some way or another. I always admire them in their motivative skills. And that's what a lot of these nations today don't have. This motivation, this dedication, and this, the thrive to push forwards, to improving one another, to improving your nation, to improving yourself. And you care of what your status is on this earth. You care of what people look at you. They might not like it, but you care about yourself to make yourself the best you can. Well, again, this is Japan. Hard, determined, and proud nation. And my heart goes out to all those who lost loved ones, and I hope a fast and speedy recovery for Japan. Thank you for watching.